Okay, here I'm going to be talking about Ephesians 6, 1 through, let's see what it is, 1 through 3. It says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, and which is the first command with a promise, so it may go well with you and you may enjoy a long life on the earth." Now, that's also taken, Paul was quoting out of the Old Testament when he said that, because that was part of the Ten Commands, the Old Testament law, and that's very important. The thing we struggle with, I think, sometimes is, what if our parents don't always do anything right? Don't always do everything right? Or what if we didn't have the best parents? Or what do we do then? Are we still called to honor and respect our parents? Well, yes. I mean, it's, basically, and I want to show you why, is because, not that I don't have a struggle with this, because, this is something I always need to work on in my own personal life, but it talks in another passage about the employee-boss relationship, basically saying, "Slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. Obey them not only to win their favor when their eye is upon you, but as slaves of Christ, doing the will of God from your heart. Serve wholeheartedly as unto the Lord, as if you were serving the Lord, not people, because the Lord will reward each one of you for whatever is good they do, whether they are a slave or free." Now, this is back when slavery was a common practice in the ancient world. The Roman culture widely accepted slavery, and the Bible didn't commend it, but it set regulations on it, because what it says to Christians who had converted to Christ and still owned slaves, they were called to treat their slaves fairly and right, and masters, treat your slaves in the same way. Do not threaten them, since you know that he who is both their master and yours in heaven, and there is no favoritism with him. So basically, when it comes to obeying somebody in a position of authority that is not necessarily, that we don't necessarily agree with, or we don't necessarily like, per se, let's say you have a cranky boss, and thank goodness slavery is not an issue today, but let's take this in the context of, let's say you have an angry boss, or you have to deal with some type of authority, whether it be civil or just relational, whether it be in the workplace or even your own parents. You're still called to, respect them, bearing in mind that God is watching and he will reward those who do good, and ultimately one day deal with those who do wrong in his way and his time. So, that's it can be a tough thing to practice, because we don't like to, submit ourselves to those in authority that sometimes don't always do the things we like, or act in a manner that we agree with or whatnot. But we're still called to, look past that as if we were serving Christ, not people. We have a divine opportunity as Christians. We can see past the unjust authority, and we can say, well, I'm going to set my heart to serve Christ in this matter. Even if I don't agree with this person or like this person, I'm going to do it for the Lord. Not for them, but for the Lord ultimately. And by submitting ourselves to those in authority, we are submitting ourselves to Christ, and he will reward us for that. He leaves no good deed unrewarded. As the old quote goes, no good deed goes unpunished. In the same way, no good deed goes unrewarded by the Lord. God bless. Bye.